Good morning, this is part 2. Here we learned the associated angles, few rules and few sums. So, associated angles means any angles related to the standard angles that we will learn. Say I will show you some example first. Hope you won't understand, but still I will show you tan 150 degree. So, as of class 10's knowledge, we don't know how to find out tan 150 degree, but we will find that this tan 150 degree is something like minus 1 by root 3. Okay, so again I will take something like cos 300 degree. So cos 300 degree will be half. So these values, like the angles which we have not come across through the standard angles, so but we can find it their value. Now see one thing, this 300 degree is something like a multiple of the standard angle. Say 5 into 60 degree. So we get 5 into the 60 degree. So it's not something which is very unknown, but it's related to 60 degree. This is also related to the standard angles, like say 5 into 30 degree. Okay, so these values we will try to find out. So how this happens, so let us see. First, we will draw a grid. So this, we see that there are 4 quadrants: first, second, third and fourth. So there are 4 quadrants, and this refers to the angles actually. The angle moving like this, you know, in the previous part I have shown you 0 to 90 degree, then if it is 0, this will be pi by 2. I have written everything in terms of pi. If you have not seen, go to part 1 and see all these things. 3 pi by 2, how it happens, this becomes 2 pi, so on and so on. So these things, these are the 4 quadrants. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. In the first quadrant, where the standard angles are there, every trigonometric function will give positive value. Say over here in the first quadrant, we get all the acute angles, like say sin 30, cos 60, tan 60, anything like cosec 60, everything. So all we write over here, all are positive. All positive in the first quadrant. Okay. Now in the second quadrant, we find only sign positive. Sign positive means, I'll give you some example. Say in the second quadrant, tell me a second quadrant angle, say 120 degree. So sin 120 degree will have a positive value. As well as if you invert it, take the reciprocal, cosec 120 degree will also have a positive value. But if you see, since I have written only sin tan 120 degree, this will be having a negative value. Okay. And as well as cos 120 degree, this will have a negative value. Why negative value? Because this 120, the angle 120 is in second quadrant. This lies in the second quadrant. Got the point? Now for the third quadrant, tan is positive. And for the fourth quadrant, cos is positive. So obviously I can give you some other examples, like say if I write cos, say 300 degree, that will be positive. Why so? Because cos 300 degree lies over here. Automatically if I write over here sin 300 degree, the sign is not positive over there, so it will be negative. Lesser than 0 means it's negative. So it happens like that. For here in the third quadrant you can have tan say 210 degree, which is positive. Tan 210 degree means what? 180 plus 30. 180 plus 30, it comes to the third quadrant. So it becomes positive for tan. But when you go for sine, say sine 210 degree, automatically it turns negative. Or say cos 210 degree, it will turn negative. Sec, which is the reciprocal of cos, it will also turn negative. So this is the thing. So in short you can say all sine tan cos, that means add sugar to coffee. So this is just for remembering all sine tan cos. So add sugar to coffee. Okay. So hope you just know about positive and negative effects of this trigonometric functions in this grid. Now we are going to discuss in details what values and how the values are generated. Say I write something like, as I was showing you, sine 150 degree. Okay. Now sine 150 degree, the first important idea that comes to our mind is that yes, the first important idea that comes to our mind is it will be a positive. Why positive? Because 150 degree lies in the second quadrant. So sine 150 degree will be overall positive. So what I do, I write here, I break this 150 as 180 minus 30. And I see that this 180 is 2 into 90 degree minus 30 degree. So when we get an even number over here, remember the trigo function retains, it is not changed. So sine will be sine only. And this part is ignored. So we write a sine 30 over here. And this, what in front, it will be a positive sign. Why positive sign? It comes from the quadrant. It comes from the second quadrant. Okay, since the original function is positive in the second quadrant, so it will have a value of half, plus half. Okay, so we can write two rules over here. The first rule is, if say n pi's, that means if you say any function, say f of n into pi by 2 plus theta, in case of this, if n is even, okay, if n is even, like say we got here 2, no change of trigo function. So this is rule number 1, no change of trigo function. That means sine will be sine only. Okay. I will also write what happens in case of odd. Okay. Now say we do the same sum sine 150 degree like this. You might agree it can be written like this also, sine 90 plus 60. Okay. It can be written like this also. So in this situation what you observe, that sine, it's 1 into 90 degree plus 60 degree, whereas this is an odd multiple of 90. This was an even multiple of 92 and that is an odd multiple of 90. So in case of odd multiple, sine is going to change into its complementary function, that means it will become cos. So cos and it will be 60, but the sign in front will be positive. Why so? The sign actually comes from the second quadrant value of sine 150. So plus cos 160 will give you the same half. So here we write the second rule, That means if n is even, then what happens? If n is even, then what happens? Change of trigo function into its complementary function. Okay. And rule 2 will be where we consider this sign. Okay. So sign, that means positive or negative, will be considered as per the quadrant. As per the quadrant rule. Related to the original function. That means the given function. I write here given function means here sign is the given function, so its sign will be considered. So these are the two rules. I will show you second example so that it will be much more clearer to you. Okay, I have written the rules much more clearly for you, and also the quadrant rule over here. So we will do some more sums. Let us do tan of say 240 degree. Okay. Now tan 240 degree you can write 180 plus 60, isn't it? So if you take 180 plus 60, it will be 2 into 90 plus 60. So what we see, this is even or odd? This is even multiple. Even multiple means no change. Okay, no change. That means tan will be tan only. Tan 60. And what sign? Plus or minus? Plus or minus will be, you will check this tan 240. So tan 240 is positive or negative? Tan 240 means it will be positive. It is third quadrant, so it will be plus. So the answer will be root 3. Okay, the same sum. So that's what I am trying to show you up. The same sum you can do like this. Tan 270 minus 30. This you can do also. We are doing the same sum in two different ways, two different methods. You can use any method in which you are comfortable. So this is tan 3 into 90 minus 30. So 3 is odd multiple. So odd multiples means change of the trigo function to its complement. So the complement of tan will be cot. So cot, this part is ignored, cot 30. And you know what sign to be put. In that situation also we will consider tan sign which is positive. So cot 30 is root 3 only. So that we get the same answer. Say we get something like sine of 300 degree. Okay. So sine of 300 degree we can write something like sine of 270 plus 30. Okay. So sine 270 means again the same thing, 3 into 90. So it will be a change into its complementary function cos 30. So do you think cos is positive in the fourth quadrant? So are we going to write a positive sign over here? Are we going to write a positive or a negative sign over here? The answer is we are going to write a negative sign over here. Why so? Because we have to consider the original. So this is the thing, the original function. Always remember, sign is negative in the fourth quadrant. So you have to put minus, this sign is related to quadrant and the original function. So minus cos 30. Okay. So it will be, the answer will be minus root 3 by 2. Okay. So if you do sine 300 in a different way, that we will do. So that we will also do that sine 300 can be written as sine 360 minus 60. So if we do that, you can see 360 means it's 4 into 90. So I can write 4 into 90, which is an even multiple. Thereby this sign will not change. And although this is, so this is actually what? Negative. So you put a minus sign over here. So minus sine 60 means minus root 3 by 2. So that means what? The same value you are getting whichever process you go for.